This is the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. Behind these walls, eminent scholars, many of international renown, probe the secrets of the world. After the Sinai Campaign in October 1956, a research expedition of scientists from this university set out along the ancient caravan trails of the Sinai Peninsula. Dr. Prava, Professor of Medieval History, examines with Professor Mazar, President of the university, photographs of early architecture which they brought back, while Magen Broshi of the Archaeology Department classifies the fragments of ancient pottery. The university expedition also photographed hundreds of manuscripts and inscriptions and took shots of the terrain from the air. Geography students of the university, in their regular lecture courses, hear from their Professor David Amiram the results of his findings on the expedition. The Sinai Peninsula has three distinct geographic regions. The northern region is a sandy plain. The central sector is a rocky plateau 4,500 feet above sea level, with a towering escarpment at its southern edge. The southern region is mountainous and is dominated by three high peaks, Mount Serbal, 7,000 feet, Jebel Musa, 8,000 feet, and St. Catherine's, 9,000 feet. Mount Serbal looms above a plain which is cut by narrow ravines, and its granite crags take on a variety of shapes. In the 4th century, Mount Serbal was claimed by the Christians to be the Mount Sinai of the Bible. But Justinian in the 6th century held Jebel Musa to be the mountain on which Moses received the law. Mount St. Catherine, the highest in the peninsula, is snow-capped during the winter, providing the area with its water. Oil, copper, turquoise, and manganese have been discovered in Sinai. Manganese has been quarried here at Bogba for more than half a century. Professor Mazar, historian and archaeologist, led the Sinai expedition. He brings to life the story of past ages. Maha, near Abu Znema of today, was an ancient gateway for the caravans moving east to Arabia and north to Mesopotamia. On this site, potsherds were found dating back to as early as the 13th century BCE. From Maha, the trail leads to Wadi Mukatab, where more than 3,000 carved inscriptions were found in the languages of the Nabateans, Greeks, and Arabs. This route hummed with life for 1,000 years from the 2nd century BCE. These inscriptions give the names of travelers who passed this way. This pictorial design tells the tale of battle with bandits. A merchant whose caravan had been plundered compared his fate to that of Job, whose name he carved in Greek letters above the camels. Bedouin of today mark the direction of their wanderings by carving the print of a foot. To the east lies the Faran oasis. On this site are the remains of a city wall and foundations of houses from settlements which flourished here as early as the 9th century BCE. The story of bustling life is told by the citadel, the towers, and streets. Here were also found the ruins of a 4th century Byzantine church, a pillar with a carved cross, and a capitol adorned by a Maltese cross. Mount Serbal, dominating the entire landscape, is the source of water for the Faran oasis, a welcome sight in this cruel desert, today as in ancient times. And on the mountain top is a watchtower guarding the approaches to the settlement. The ancient caravan route passing through the Sinai Peninsula reaches the Gulf of Aqaba at Tuweba. Tuweba is the corrupted form of the ancient name Yotvata, used to denote watering places. Here too are Nabatean and Greek inscriptions and rock drawings, some of which are copied by Dr. Stekelis, Professor of Prehistory. Mr. Aviona, lecturer in Byzantine archaeology, records an important inscription. A little further south is the island fortress of Jazirat el Faraoun. On a hilltop are the ruins of a Crusader castle, while Byzantine and Roman remains point to earlier settlement. Another caravan trail beginning at Marha traverses the peninsula and ends at Dahab, believed to be the Giza hub of the Bible, 90 miles south of Eilat. Through the ancient port of Dahab, travelers from Egypt crossed to the Arabian Peninsula. These are the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel beyond the Jordan, in the wilderness, in the Arabah, over against Suf between Paran and Tophel, and Laban and Hatzerot and Dizahab. The early settlers of Dahab were attracted by its natural harbor. Remains were found of houses, cisterns, and a citadel. Close by were ancient copper smelting plants. Here civilization flourished in Nabatean times. This is a typical Nabatean tomb. Today at Dahab, the soil is tilled in a manner untouched by time. They grow barley in patches little more than 1 square yard, watered as in ancient days. The dwellings are of local palm wood. Remote from modern civilization, these folk eke out a living from the meager soil and from fishing. The expedition sailed down the Gulf of Aqaba. They reached Ras Muhammad, the southernmost point of the Sinai Peninsula, set against vividly colored coral reefs. On the nearby island of Tiran, they found no trace of permanent settlement, due no doubt to the total absence of sweet water. The only signs of ancient life were the remains of what were obviously temporary encampments. The oldest of these relics date back to 4,000 years BCE. From the air, Cape Ras Muhammad resembles a camel's head. It too was uninhabited, and the only vestige of civilization found there was the ruins of a Roman lighthouse. The island of Tiran stands at the narrow entrance of the Gulf of Aqaba, now the vital trade route between Israel and the East. At the heart of the mountainous southern region of the Sinai Peninsula is Jebel Musa, believed by 6th century Christians to be the mount where the law was given to Moses. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain. 40 days and 40 nights did Moses stay on the mountain, while the children of Israel encamped in the wilderness before the mount. This Christian shrine marks what is believed to have been the place where Aaron fashioned the golden calf. In the shadow of these majestic heights was born man's moral code. Nestling in the ridge at the base of Jebel Musa's peak is St. Catherine's Monastery, built by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian in the 6th century. Today's inhabitants of the area are Bedouin, whose forebears were Macedonians brought by the Byzantine kings to guard the monastery. At 11 o'clock each day, they come to the monastery to receive their daily bread, a tradition unbroken for 1400 years. About 500 monks originally inhabited the monastery, and from time to time pilgrims came to seek solitude in one of the many white hermitages clinging to the mountainside. Their earthly remains lie in this chapel, where St. Stephen keeps his ghostly watch over them. Entrance to the monastery was originally made through an opening in the upper part of the wall. The wooden cage was hauled up by 4 men. In the 19th century, a gate was built at alley level. These tortuous passages winding through the monastery have been fashioned during the centuries of its existence. The monks believe this to be the traditional burning bush. The custodian is responsible for the general welfare of the 11 monks who inhabit the monastery today. They live in clay dwellings attached to the walls. The main house of prayer is the original church, decorated with the Coptic cross flanked by palm trees. From the 11th century belfry, the monks are summoned to prayer. The carved doors of heavy oak were an offering in the 10th century. The monastery has been enriched by the gifts of pilgrims throughout the ages. They include these gilded figurines of Moses and Aaron. The floor is a pattern of inlaid marble. This is a Byzantine mosaic of the Ascension. Above is a portrayal of Moses receiving the 10 Commandments. The ceiling is studded with gold. The entrance to the ancient refectory bears the coats of arms of knights who made their pilgrimage to the monastery. The interior is decorated with a Byzantine fresco. Professor Polotsky examines photographs taken by the university expedition of manuscripts found in the monastery library. This 9th century Arab document tells of the adventures that befell the head of the monastery at Ain Radian on his way to Ramla to pay taxes to the central government. This illuminated Byzantine manuscript shows Moses beside the burning bush and receiving the law. Another shows him about to lead the children of Israel across the Red Sea. The festive meal in Job's house and its sudden end by earthquake is almost surrealist in style. Professor Polotsky, Professor Mayer, and Mr. Ben-Horin find the monastery library a veritable treasure of more than 3,000 rare manuscripts and documents. The library also contains fine texts like this 9th century illuminated gospel in the hands of Archimandrite Christophorus. Sinai, where the children of Israel received the supreme code of human behavior.